So guys, we are in this Corona season and things have been slow in all the economies, right? I'm in Ghana as I speak right now, and I came to the country around the late of February, almost March, right? When I came down, that's where all the Corona stuff started escalating in Ghana, okay? So I had no choice to also go into quarantine, right? I had to quarantine myself for some days to be sure I do not have the virus. And all thanks to God, I came out free and I didn't have the virus, right? Um, well, in this country, Ghana, right now, um, some of the restrictions have been eased. Okay, so you can travel from one state or one region to the other region, right? But the airports are not open at the moment, so it's going to be a little bit difficult if you want to travel outside the country. Okay, but I don't know the country you are, and I don't know what's happening in your country right now. So within this short space of time, we can get we can introduce ourselves, and you let us know what's going on in your country too, right? Let us know how your president is addressing to this corona issue and how the restrictions has been in your country. Let us know how the corona is affecting your lives, your country, your economy, or whatever it is. So you can just type it in your chat section for us to know how it's going at your end. Okay, let's just have some short conversation before we get into the topic of the day. Since I started trading gold, this is the year I've seen gold at its all-time high, right? Since I started trading gold in my lifetime or throughout all my journey of trading Forex and other assets, is this the first time I've seen gold hitting $2,000, right? So at the beginning of the year, January, February, it was around 17,000, getting into 18,000. But just Tuesday, just last Tuesday, that's about 2 days ago, gold hits the $2,000 mark for the first time. So if you've been trading this season and you've been trading on gold, right? You've been buying gold. That means you should be making more, profits this season, because since the corona started hitting the world this year, that's 2020. Stocks, Forex, and other assets, right? The markets declines. It declines 3.5 times faster than it goes up, right? So most of the markets have been declining, coming towards the downward direction, and the dollar is also losing its momentum, or the dollar is losing its strength, and most currency or most countries' currencies are beating the dollar. Example, the AUD, that's the Australian dollar. The Australian dollar is beating, the US dollar here and there. The GBP has gone for about 8 days in a row in a bullish direction. So the Great British Pounds has been beating the US dollar to here and there for about 8 days in a row. Bullish, bullish, bullish. And the euro too has been beating the US dollar. And what's other currency? The NZD, the New Zealand dollar, has been also beating the US dollar too. For this session, I'm going to try to make it very simple and very easy for even the beginner level people can understand what I'm talking about. I'm going to make it very simple as possible and very short and precise. I'm just going to go straight to the point. And if at any point in time you don't understand what I'm talking about, you can just type it in the questions and answer section, or you can type it in the chat section. And as time goes on, I'll be reviewing them and I'll be answering your questions too, right? So at any point in time, if you don't understand anything, you can just type it down there, and I will review it, and I'll try to answer your question as best as I can for you. All right. So this session is being hosted, right? It's being hosted by M Trading, the M Trading broker, right? So this season, we know things has been really hard for you guys, and M Trading is giving each and everyone 200% when you register with the broker, right? When you register with us, you get 200%, and the spreads are good. I've been using M Trading for a while, and so far so good. I haven't really had any bad experience with them, right? So they are sponsoring this session, and yeah, let's get into the video. Now, how can we be profitable this season of COVID-19? When you ask someone, a trader, that why aren't you trading this season, what a person is going to tell you is that there's been a lot of volatility in the markets, right? The market has been so volatile. Yes, I understand. There is no two ways about that. I know the market has been really volatile this season, but I'm still trading and I'm still making decent profits. And why do I do that, or how do I make this profit? Well, volatility, if you don't understand volatility, is the random movement in the market. So if there is no time, you don't also lose money, right? So if you place a trade and the market doesn't move, you just be charged your commission spread. I'm not going to make any profits, okay? So the market needs to move in order for you to make a profit on your investment. I'm going to tell you, this COVID season, the market has been moving very fast and very sharply. And I also tell them that volatility, if you think you're going to lose by trading this season, you should also think that at the same time, if you trade this season, you can make more profits than on your trades, because the same movement that's going to make you lose money is the same thing that's going to make you. And now, guys, there's been a lot of lockdowns in a couple of countries. Just as we thought the corona stuff was going down, just last week, California's coronavirus rates just spiked up, because they thought it was under control and they were controlling their corona cases well in the United States. But just last week, the rates of people getting infected just increased, and the rate of death also increased just last week. So the US dollar has been really suffering this season, right? So the lockdowns in several countries has really made all this volatility happen, and quarantine out to do your business, out to buy things that is going to be expensive, just as Vivian said. So these are all the factors that is making the market so unpredictable and so volatile. Is another thing. So you can't really time the market very well. But in this set, the simple strategies I use to make profits this season. All right. So since we want to make profit this season, we are just going to take our phones and start placing trades to expect to make profits, right? There are things we should look out for if we are in, a normal time place. So distraction, okay? If you really want to do assist right, you need to get away from all distractions, guys. So right now, since I came back, I created a trading den or a trading room for myself. So we're talking about distractions. So you really need to get away from all distractions. And why am I talking about distraction as the first, point here? Since we are in the lockdown season, Corona season, quarantine season, you're going to stay home and you're going to be with your family members, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever. You're going to be in the house together, right? You're going to be locked down at the same house or at the same environment, right? And there's going to be really a lot of distractions here and there. But while doing your analysis, you really need a sound mind and a focused mind to do a very good analysis and place trade in the forex market. So I think you really need to get away from distractions. And the second one is exercise and diet, right? Exercise and diet. And someone will be wondering why I'm not talking about exercise and diet here, right? Are we doing some nutrition program here? No. If you really need to make good profits, you really have to be, very fit too, right? You can't be sick and expect to have a sound mind and energy to, trade forex. So I just brought that in my topic today, so that you guys stay healthy throughout this season and abide by all the coronavirus protocols and stuff to be alive and make profits consistently. We're going to talk about emotions, right? You need to be in a right or in a sound mind to be able to endure what's going on around this season and make profit in the forex market too. So last week we talked about the same thing, and last week Wednesday I made some little losses on the GBP USD pair, right? Also Wednesday I had that losses, and on Thursday we had the webinar. So last week Wednesday I made some losses, and I didn't really have to overtrade and try to recover my losses the same day, right? I needed to go out and go to friends, meet up with friends, and get my mind off it, right? So that I wouldn't be thinking about it, and I didn't really need to come in front of my screen and be placing trades, right? That could lead to over trading. Okay, so when I'm talking about over trading, it's really going to be a nightmare for people who are day traders. Okay, people who are day traders, they are always in the house and placing trades here and there. And also we are in this corona season, so they are not going to just go anywhere because of these lockdowns and stuff, and they'll be really placing a lot of trades in a day, right? And over trading can easily blow your trading accounts. All right, guys. So if you have a good strategy, a good setup, and you want to place your trades, you just have to place a reasonable amount of trades in a day, so that you wouldn't just over trading and blow your trading account. So most of my students, my new students, I've been advising them to use small lot size for the meantime, right? So small lot sizes like the micro lots, so that if they are building their confidence in the forex market, they can graduate to the mini lots, and also they can go to the standard lots. And why do I advise them to do this? Guys, if you come into the forex market at first, I think you wouldn't really have a lot of capital, right? To trade with it. You can invest like $100, $200, and that's not really much. So if you place trades with a very high lot sizes, it's very easy for you to blow your account. And guys, 90% of retail traders, they lose 90% of their deposits in just 90 days. Sometimes it can be just a day, they can just blow their trading account. And you have to be in the market for 90 days and be making small or be accumulating small profits, so that in 90 days time you could still have your balance intact and you can still be making profits in the forex market. That's where you are going to build your confidence, right? So in 90 days, if you haven't lost or you haven't blown your trading account, that's where you build your confidence, and you can be graduating into higher lot size like the mini lots and the standard lots, and you can making more profits on your trades too. So guys, you have to look out to over trading. You don't really need to over trade this season, because it can be very risky on your accounts too. We're going to talk about news. So why are we going to talk about news? At this season, there are a lot of news being published each and every day about the coronavirus strikes in other countries and stuff. So you should look out for news, right? So when we talk about news, we are talking about a fundamental analysis. So in forex trading, we deal with technicals and we also deal with the fundamentals. And some people also go into the sentimental, which I'm not really going to go into for today. So with a fundamental analysis, whereby you read the news and you read what's going on in the economies of other countries and stuff, so that you get a clear picture of what could happen, I mean, in the next minute or the next hour, or what could happen in the markets, right? So guys, you should read news. I mean, every time you want to trade a specific currency pair, right? You should read a news about their currency pair or their country, or what's going on in the country. And if the news is very negative, you should know it can also affect the currency pair very negatively, right? If it's a good news and people are getting recovered very fast, I mean, there are less coronavirus cases, they are, I mean, managing the coronavirus well and stuff, it can be a very positive thing for that country's currency pair too, right? So you should look into news. And last week, I think I gave you guys three places whereby I read my news. I think I gave you two or three. So one site you can do your fundamental analysis, or one place you can read a lot of news there is called forexfactory.com. Forexfactory.com. So you guys, you can just note it down. So later you can just go into the forexfactory.com and you can read some fundamental analysis, or you can read some news there that can be really helpful in your trades. And you can also go to fxstreets.com, fxstreets.com, right? So streets, S-T-R-E-E-T, FX, right? So the first one is forexfactory.com, and the second one is fxstreets.com, and the third one is investing.com, investing.com. So these are three sites I mean, just go into any site and just be reading news and be making my fundamental analysis, okay? And guys, these sites too, they are, I mean, experts in, I mean, big banks and exchanges who also do their analysis and post it there, okay? But me, my advice to people I train or I talk to is that, guys, you really need to do the analysis by yourself. You don't need to just be listening to people's, I mean, ideas and information, and you'll be trading with it, okay? You have to, I mean, build yourself in the fundamentals. Read the news, understand it, understand the previous, I mean, the previous price, understand the forecast price, the consensus, and everything. So at a later stage in this session, I'm going to go into one of the news sites, and I'll show you how I do my fundamental analysis, or how I read the news to, I mean, get a very clear understanding of it, and that's where I can, based on that, to, I mean, make good prediction in the forex market. Well, the last thing here is a balanced life, guys. You need to have a balanced life in this season, right? So just the example I just gave, I was trading last week Wednesday, trading, and that was a loss day for me, right? It was a loss day for me, and I needed to, I mean, balance it with something else. So I had to just go out to, I mean, clear my mind of my loss. And surely the next day, that was Thursday, I was able to come back and bounce back, cleared my profits. I mean, cleared my losses I made the previous day, and I made extra profit the next day, right? So you just need to, I mean, have a balanced life. If you're making losses, you don't need to, make it, um, you don't need, you just need to let go of it, right? Let go of it, and the next time you can just bounce back very strongly and make profits more than you were making, previously. So guys, this forex trading is something we want to trade for the rest of our lives, okay, if possible. So we are not, if we enter the forex market, we are not really rushing for, very big gains in just a matter of days or weeks. Okay, we just need to accumulate. Be making very good profits, and you can even, quit your job or whatever it is, and be trading full time. And this is really going to make you a very good living, right? So you shouldn't rush to make any profit in the forex market when you start, and you just have to take it slow, make consistent profits. That's the most important thing. As a forex trader, you're definitely going to lose money, right? And there's no forex trader who has said he hasn't made losses before. You are probably going to make losses, but the key thing is that your wins need to exceed your losses, right? Your winning trades or your profits need to exceed your losses. And that's where you can say you are growing, or you are building confidence in the markets, or you're really getting to a clear understanding of the forex markets. So guys, let's get into shorting, right? I have one strategy that is called shorting. Shorting. So if you've had a chance to join my previous, so if you've been listening to the news and you hear them saying we think maybe the dollar or the yen or the euro is going long, it doesn't mean anything, but they mean that currency pair they're talking about is going bullish, or is going towards the upwards direction, or is gaining momentum. So that's where we talk about long. And when we talk about short, we mean the currency pair is declining or going towards the downwards direction. That's where we use the term called short. So when we say shorting, is whereby you make profits in a falling price of a currency pair, right? So when the currency pair is losing its momentum or the price is declining, that's where we call it shorting, and we can make a lot of profits. And when the currency pair is going down, so in this season, most of my trade has been shorting. I've been shorting the market here and there, and there's been profit over profit over profit. Now, guys, someone is going to ask that if you are shorting or you are selling the market or you are selling the currency, and you don't have the currency pair as in cash, you don't have the physical paper. So how do you sell the currency pair, guys? What you need to understand is that it's pure speculation. So you just have to, just imagine you have the currency pair and you are selling, right? So if you open your MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5 application and you see buy or sell, if you buy, it doesn't mean you're going to get the physical currency, right? It means you just speculated that the currency pair is going to go up. And if you click sell, it means that you are speculating or you are predicting the market or the price is going to go down. So that's where we talk about buying and selling, long, shorts, high, low, and stuff. So guys, there is a movie called The Big Short. The Big Short. So guys, if you have time, you can check this movie out later, right? It's whereby a young guy predicted the 2008, what's it called? Real estate market crash. Okay, so 2008, the real estate, markets crashed, and before the 2008, there was a guy who predicted that the market was going to crash, and people, didn't really believe in him. He placed a couple of trade towards the downwards direction, right? He sold the markets. He sold a couple of stuff, and now in 2008, he really made millions and billions, of dollars. And people didn't really understand how he was able to, predict the markets like that. So what the guy did was shorting. So people thought the real estate market was developing, it was growing. People are buying houses and stuff. So definitely the real estate market is growing. But this guy saw it or did his analysis and had a foresight that the market will be declining or the market is going to crash in 2008. He placed that prediction, or he placed, that trade, and he really made a lot of, profits on that. So in shorting, during this Corona season, I've been shorting three currencies, right? That's the USD JPY, is USD CHF, and the USD Canadian dollar. That has been three currency pairs I've been really shorting. I mean, this season. Okay, okay. Razak said, yeah, complete speculation. Yeah. So when someone says he's selling, it's pure or it's a complete, I mean, speculation. Okay. So these are the three currency pairs I've been really trading this season. I'm going to show you how, I mean, I make my prediction, or I analyze the markets, and I'm going to show you some of the indicators I use and how I use them, guys. I'm not saying anyone should, I mean, just follow my footstep and use the specific indicators I use, right? In my earlier days of trading Forex, or in my prep days, I really explored a lot, and I really used a lot of platforms, a lot of strategies, a lot of, I mean, indicators and stuff. And I fell in love with, I mean, three of them, three indicators. So these are the currency pairs I've been really trading this season. That's the USJPY, USCHF, and the Canadian dollar. And there is something called the short squeeze. The short squeeze. So someone is going to say squeeze. I mean, are we squeezing a juice? So I mean, what do you mean by short squeeze? All right. Before I show you guys what a short squeeze is, let me show you what I see in the markets that makes me take, I mean, a short, or makes me short the market, right? So let's just go into our charts and see what's going on in there. All right. So let's go to gold. All right. So the current price of gold is $2,064. So since, I mean, people have been trading gold, today is the, I think, 6th of August, and gold is at its all-time high. Last 2 days it was at its all-time high. Yesterday it's broke that record and gained another all-time high, and today too it broke that record again. And as we speak right now, gold is at its all-time high. Okay, so I mean, from Tuesday I've been placing a buy trade on gold, and none of my trade has been, I mean, a loss, because I mean, gold is doing something that has never happened before. I've been trading gold for a while, and I haven't really seen a pattern like this, I mean, before. I don't remember seeing anything this, I mean, bullish movements like this before, right? So since June 8th, it has been really a very, I mean, a very clear uptrend. You see how the market has been, I mean, going towards the upwards direction. And if you are trading gold towards the upwards direction, or you are buying gold, you're already going to make more profits this season. So Robert Kiyosaki, right, the man who wrote the book about Rich Dad and Poor Dad, talked about three types of, I mean, currencies, or three types of assets we have in the world. He said we have God's money, we have the people's money, and we have the government's money, right? So when you talk about God's money, right, he's talking about the gold, the silver, the bauxite, the oil, and other stuff that, I mean, people do not really, I mean, control the price of it. And when he talks about the human or the people's money, he's talking about cryptocurrencies, right? So for cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stuff, there are people who, I mean, buy them due to the supply and demand. That's where the prices really get to, I mean, increase or goes towards the upwards or the downwards direction. Is purely from the actions of, I mean, human beings, right? So that's the cryptocurrency, is the people's money. And when you talk about the government money, he's talking about fiat currencies like the dollar, the euro, the yen, the CD, the naira, and stuff. That's what he calls the government money, and he thinks the government can manipulate them anytime. So that's why, I mean, he calls I mean, the gold, the God's money. He has been recommending people to be buying gold and be storing them, and they can really make a lot of profits on it. So I think during this season, this guy or this man will be really making, I mean, money on his gold investments, right? So let's look at what um, the oil is doing. Let's look at US oil, right? After looking at all these assets, we get into details. We'll go into the indicators and we will see how I do the shorting, right? For gold, I don't short gold this season because gold has been on an uptrend. If you try to short gold this season, it might be a disaster for you at this moment. All right, David, I've seen your question and I'm going to address it later. You're asking, you want to know the right channel to pass through to be a good trader, and you want to start now. So at the end of this session, I'm going to show you, I mean, how you can do that. Okay, guys, so let's go to the US oil and see how the US oil is performing this year. So the US oil is also called the WTI oil. So if you've been hearing the WTI oil here and there, is the same as the US oil. Okay, so this is how the oil has been performing this year. Let's start from 2020. So 2020 is right here. So this chart is a 2020 chart. Since the year began, this is how the market has been performing. So since the year began, it has been corona over corona, and the market, the oil market or the WTI oil prices was declining and declining, right? So it really steeped down right here. So this was a dip, okay? So if you really bought this dip, then that means you're really going to make more profits on your, I mean, your trade or your investment, okay? And since the 20th of April, gold just reversed from the downwards direction, and it has been a bullish move, and there's been a little bit of, I mean, resistance right here. So this is how oil is also trading, and I haven't been really trading oil this season, to be honest with you guys. Let's see how the Brent oil or the UK oil is also performing. So the same way when the year started, the Brent oil just, I mean, went towards the downwards direction, and later after April 20th, it just started picking up momentum towards the upwards direction. So that's what has happened with oil this season. Okay, guys, now this way we are going into the real matter. So guys, so the currency pair I talked about is the euro, is the USD JPY, the USD CHF, and USD Canadian dollar. So let's see how the USD and Japanese yen has been performing this season. Okay, so you can see it has been more of, I mean, a sideways or a downwards direction, right? So I've been shorting this currency pair because since the US dollar is losing its momentum, that means I can place shorts and trades, and I'm really going to make more profit because, as I said at the beginning of this class, if when the market is for this corona season, when the market is falling, it falls 3.5 times faster than when it rises, right? So anytime the market gets a chance or loses its momentum and is falling, or the price is falling, the speed of the fall is 3.5 times faster than when it's going towards the upwards direction. So why don't you, I mean, place more selling trades this season? Let's also look into the USD and the Swiss franc. Okay, so guys, you can clearly see that it has also been a downtrend, right? So here, I think it went about 10 days in a row towards the downwards direction. So if you place a trade, and that's a sell trade around this direction, and you held it for a couple of days, that was really a lot of profit for you too. Let's see the last one, that's the USD and the Canadian dollar. Okay, so guys, same here too. You can see from around 18th of May, the USD CAD has been also declining, right? It has been a downtrend right here too. So that's what really makes me profit this season of this three currency pairs. I've been shorting them, and in a minute I'll show you how to do this shorting in the market. And let me read a few questions and let's get continued. All right, Isaac is asking whether I offer trading courses or I mentor. Okay. And you also want me to recommend a broker for you that uses Visa for funding, right? Or there are a couple of brokers that uses Visa for funding. M Trading uses Visa for funding too. So after this session, I'm going to send you the link of the M Trading broker, and you can look into it and see whether it has all the features that you are looking for, right? And Isaac is also asking whether I have a course or whatsoever. Yes, we have a community whereby we share forex knowledge there too. So at the end of the section too, you have to stay put, and I'm going to send you the links to our Telegram platform. I'm going to send you my YouTube link. I'm going to send you the link of M Trading for you to place or for you to register, and they are offering 200% bonus. So that means if you place or you deposit $100 in your trading account, that means you can receive about $200 or $300 as a deposit, as a bonus. Razak is also asking, how do I set profitable, simple take profit and stop loss using technical strategies? Yes, guys, we have an outline that's going to cover all these topics, right? So step by step, you are going to get all your questions answered, and every topic you are requesting for us to make a webinar about or a video about, you are going to address all of them and show you how to place your stop losses or take profits in a very strategic manner for you to not lose money and make more profits, guys. All right, guys, I think we can continue with this. All right, so basically I just use 3 indicators when I'm doing shorting in the market, right? I'm not saying you should necessarily use the indicators I use, okay? You can just try a couple of indicators and see what works best for you. But for the purpose of this class, I'm just going to select some few indicators that I use in my trading, and I'm just going to show you how I do the shorting with that. All right, so I use parabolic SAR. Okay, I just found it. And I use the moving average. That's what works best for me. RSI or something else can work for you guys. You just have to, play around these indicators and see what works for you. And I also use the AO, that's the awesome oscillator. Okay, I think I already have the awesome oscillator on. So guys, I just selected my indicators I use when I want to short the market, and you can see them right here. So with the small dots you see right here is the parabolic SAR. That's one indicator I like using. And the blue thin line you see passing through the candlesticks are called, it's called the moving average, right? But when I'm using my MT4 on my phone, I use 3 moving averages. The settings, I set 1 to 10, 1 to 20, and 1 to 200, right? So in our later or in our next webinars, if you have the chance to use the MetaTrader 4 application on our phone. I'm going to show you how to, set your indicators on the phone. I'm going to show you how I set my indicators when I'm trading with my phone. All right, guys. So this is how I place trade in the falling markets, or this is how I place a shorting trade. As you can see, guys, the market is going towards the downwards direction, right? The market is declining, and we are working on the USD and the Canadian dollar right here. And if I'm going to make or I'm going to place a shorting order, I call something the first red day. The first red day. So the first red day, most of the time, I use my awesome oscillator to determine whether the market is going to reverse towards the downwards direction, or the market is going to gain more traction to the downwards direction. So that's how I do it, and that's how I place my trade. So you have to really have a lot of patience to time the markets to get a very good entry, and you can place your trades right there. I'm just finding a very good point, or a very good entry point here for you to see how I place my trade. Guys, please be following the pointer of my mouse and be following the line that is going toward the left and right direction of the pointer, right? So on the pointer, you can see a line that cuts across vertically and one cuts across horizontally. Okay, so you have to keep an eye on that too. And I'm trying to find a very good position whereby I place my trades. All right, guys, I just found a place, right? I found a very good area. Guys, let me see. Let me know whether I can see the colors of my parabolic SAR, because the colors I've set it to green and red, So let me know if you can see it, because it's really going to be helpful in this analysis. All right. So what I use is called the first red day. The first red day. So when I identify the trend, and we've talked about how to identify a trend in the forex market too. So when I identify a trend that's going towards the downwards direction. All right, Moses, you can see the red and the green. The red and the green. Awesome oscillator sticks. That's good. So guys, back to what I was saying. And what I use is called the first red day. The first red day is a combination of my awesome oscillator, my parabolic, and my moving average. Okay, so when you identify the market and it's a downwards, or it's the trend is a declining trend, then you can place a shorting trade on it. So for the first red day, you can see from here, you can see the green awesome oscillator bars, and now it's set to the red, and it has been red. There was some little green here, and it's continued red and green here. So this is where I want to place my this is where I want to place my trade. I want to place my trade here. I want to place my trade around this point, right? So when the market was coming towards the downwards direction, I spotted this price, right? And I wanted to place a sell trade right here, okay? But I'm not just going to decide that on my own. I'm going to decide through the help of my awesome oscillator and my parabolic SAR. So right here, I'll be monitoring the awesome oscillator, right? I'll be just monitoring the awesome oscillator and the parabolic too. And I'm finding, after a series of green movements, I'll be finding the first red day, because this chart is a daily chart, okay? It's a daily chart, and every candlestick or every red or green stick here represents one day, okay? So I'm looking for the first day that the awesome oscillator turns to red. So I'll be looking out for a first for a first red day, right? So for the first red day, the candlestick for the red day was a red candlestick too, and the next day it was a first red day. So now, guys, it's giving me a clue that the market is going to go or is going to continue the bearish movement again. And now you're not going to follow only the awesome oscillator. The awesome oscillator is giving you a first clue that the market is going to reverse towards the downward direction. So it's time for you to place a sell trade. So after the awesome oscillator is giving you a clue, then you come to your parabolic tool. You see that for the first red day, the parabolic will also, begin or will put a first dot, right? A first parabolic move on the top. So when the parabolic, dot is on the top, that means it's pushing the markets downwards, or it's telling you that it's sitting on the market. So definitely it's depressing the market to go downwards. So now, guys, the awesome oscillator has given me a red light to go ahead, and the parabolic has also given me an indication that the market is about to go towards the downwards direction, right? This what works best for me, right? This the two or the three indicators that really works best for me, and I've really been using this for a very long time, and I really understand what it's trying to tell me each and every time. And this doesn't work 100% of the time, right? So about 75 to 80% of the time, I really get this predictions right, okay, because I've been practicing with it for a while, and I know the movement of the parabolic and the awesome oscillator. So when I have these two indications that the parabolic is telling me is going down, and the awesome oscillator is also telling me there's a first red day, that means it's going down, then it's time for me to place a trade. But not just quickly, I'm also going to look at my moving average. I'm going to see whether the moving average is pointing towards the upwards direction, or the moving down average is bending towards the downwards direction. So right here, the moving average was also bending towards the downwards direction. So all my three indication is giving me, the go ahead to place a trade. So the next day, the place I'm going to trade is going to be a sell trade, and most of the time it's going towards the downwards direction. Don't you think the market can just all of a sudden reverse towards the upwards direction, and you can lose all your trading accounts or all your balance if you don't have a stop loss, or it can even hit your stop loss and you can lose a substantial amount of money? Yes, it's possible. The markets can just, all of a sudden, reverse towards the upwards direction. They can lose money. That's called the short squeeze, right? That's called a short squeeze. So, a short squeeze occurs when a stock or a currency pair jumps sharply higher, forcing traders who has bets on the falling prices to just lose money in the forex markets. And let's have an example, or let's see how a short squeeze looks like. Guys, on this chart, you can see the market has also been on the downwards move, right? The market has been declining on this chart, and it has been declining, and it has been a lot of reds right here. The reds are a lot. That means the market is really declining. So it has been an harmonious decline up till this point, which we thought it was continuously declining. But all of a sudden we had a very long green candle. This green candle means it just pushed up. So if you have your stop loss around this level, then that means this candlestick is going to hit your stop loss, and you can lose money in your trading account. And if you don't even have a stop loss and your account balance is very small too, you can even blow your entire account. So that's what we call short squeeze. So someone's going to say, what's the advantages and disadvantages of the shorting I do? The advantages is that you really get to make a very good amount of profits, because since this season the market is moving downwards 3.5 times faster than upwards, you can really make a very good amount of money when you are shorting the market. And the disadvantage is that short squeeze can happen at any point in time. So when the market is going towards the downwards direction, you should know that a lot of traders are placing sell trade, and the banks, the exchanges, all of them are placing sell trade. That's really making the markets go toward the downwards direction. All of a sudden, there can be a high volume of buy trade, and the market can just go upwards all of a sudden, and that's where you can lose some money in the market. So when you're doing shorting, you should also look up to short squeeze, and short squeeze can happen at any point in time when you're doing shorting of the market. So what you need to do so that you don't lose your entire account, that's where we talk about risk management. Since we are not really going into details on risk management, that's where you place your stop loss at a strategic location or a strategic price. Someone asked that question, how you can place your stop loss at a very good level so that you would minimize your risk, and your gains will be maximized. So I don't think we really go into that for today, but I just want to give you an overview that you need to look out for short squeezes, because that can be a disadvantage when you are shorting the markets. All right, guys. So how to find the best entry point? How do we find the best entry point? So finding the best entry point, we are not only dealing with the technical analysis. So what I talked about, the indicators, and finding the first red day, and having a confirmation from the parabolic SAR and stuff. That's not the only thing that you have to look into when you are placing your trade. That's not the only thing that's going to give you a very good entry price. You have to also look into your fundamentals. So the fundamentals is also one catalyst. It's a very it's a key you have to look into when you're placing your trades. And the fundamental analysis can also, most of the time, the fundamental analysis causes the short squeeze, right? So all of a sudden, the country's fundamentals or the country's currency pair is losing momentum, and there will be a good news out of the blue moon, right? And the markets can just spike towards the upwards direction. So you have to look into the fundamentals and read news, because it can have an effect on your trades too, and it can cost you a lot of money. And if you take good advantage of it, then you can really make more profits by utilizing your fundamentals or your news very well, right? So I was going to ask, do I do only shorting this season? No, sometimes. Just last week I was trading the GBP USD, right? And I wasn't doing I was doing a shorting with it. So I placed a short trade on the GBP USD, and it was tragic, right? That day was a tragic day for me, because the GBP USD has been very, very, very strong during this Corona season, and I just tried to place a reversal to reverse the market and predict for the market to pull down a little bit for me to gain more profits on it. But my trade was a mess, and the market continuously went up, and I lost some money during that trade. The next day I placed an up trade, and now I was able to recover my losses, and I made a little bit profits on my accounts too. So when I'm trading GBP USD, Euro USD, AUD USD, and gold, and also the New Zealand dollar USD, this season, what I do is that I go long on it, right? So it's just the opposite as what I do with the shorting, right? With this, I place buy trades on it. Let's just go into the chart and see how the chart formation is with this currency pair. So the first one we're going to is the Euro USD. Let's see the movement. You can see right here that it has been an upwards movement this year, right? Let me just zoom in for you to see how it has been working out. So it has been an uptrend this season. That means the euro is really gaining strength and momentum over the dollar this Corona season, right? Since the dollar is losing its momentum, right? So right here, if the market is going towards the upwards direction and you want to even place or you want to short the market, is very risky, because the first, after a series of green movements here, this was the first red day, right? But still the market continuously went up. So if you place a short trade on this, it's very possible you can make a lot of losses right here. That's what I just made last week, and I just learned my lesson from it, and I just placed a buy trade, and I was making profit out of it. So any loss you make in the forex market shouldn't be discouraged to you, or it shouldn't be something that is going to get you away from trading. You should take it as a lesson, right? Because during my earlier stages of learning forex trading, I didn't really have any mentor who really showed me this. All right, guys. So there's going to be a point in time in your trading journey. That's where you're going to make um couple of losing streaks, right? So that doesn't mean that shouldn't discourage you from trading, right? It's just a learning curve for you, and you have to be emotionally strong, psychologically strong, and get back on your feet, go back to the exercise table, learn a lot of new strategies, and come back to the market to make profits. So that's very important for you guys to know. You can make losses sometimes, and what's very important is that you have to learn and come back to recover your losses and make consistent profit in the forex market too. So when I want to go long on the market this session, I go long on gold and GBP, Euro, AUD, and NZD, because these are the five currency pairs I go long on this season, and they are really going bullish towards the upwards direction. So it's very easy for you to place a buy trade and make profits out of it, right? So this what this is how you can really make profit of it when you don't really have a very good or enough or a very good or a big amount of money in your trading account. You don't really have to be placing trade with a very big lot sizes if your account balance is not really big. So you have to be placing trade with reasonable lot sizes, and you are definitely going to make profits, because you're not going to the market is not going to go towards the downwards direction for you to blow your account or hit your stop loss. If you have the patience to wait, it's probably going to go towards the upwards direction, and you can make some profits out of your trades. Guys, at this point in time, if you have any questions, any suggestions, you can just type them in the questions and answers section, or you can just type them in the chat section, and we can get your questions answered. All right, guys, I'm taking questions for now. Let me see whether I have any question to answer. All right, David was saying he couldn't really see was it the chats or the awesome oscillator? Well, you can set an awesome oscillator on your chats to see how they work though, right? Reading the awesome oscillator is quite simple for you to do. So you can just, the symbol for the awesome oscillator is A and O. So you can just find the awesome oscillator on your chart and see how they work. Right, guys? If you have any questions, you can just get them coming, and let's see how best we can answer your questions for you guys. All right, so as I'm waiting to take questions, I'll be posting some links into the chat section, and please guys, I'm going to post my YouTube channel. I'm going to paste the channel for M Trading, the M Trading YouTube channel. That's where every single week they post a weekly recap, what you should be expecting in the market, what has previously affected the market and can even affect the market again. And you can it's also really going to be a very good guide for you to do your fundamental analysis. So we can also subscribe to the M Trading YouTube page. I'm going to paste all those links right here, so guys, be looking forward for that. So I'll stop sharing my screen here since I want to paste the links into the chat section. So I'll be posting the links right into the chat section, so you can just look out for them and you can subscribe to our community and you get more information about our free classes and other videos we do weekly. Yes, guys, thanks for not going. My channel is about how to make passive income on the internet, right? How how to make money while working online, forex trading, how to trade cryptocurrencies, and I mean anything you could think of that is very legit and people on my YouTube channel. So guys, please visit my YouTube channels. You can watch some of the videos and I'll be so glad if you can subscribe to my channel as well. And if you have friends or even family members, you can just recommend my channel for them. And I post weekly, right? I post weekly, content right there that can be really useful to you guys too. So the last thing I'm going to share in this session is is um, is the bonus, right? Is the bonus. So M trading is giving 200% bonus. So their deposit method is mobile money. Mobile money very easy. GT Bank, and I mean you can make very fast. I mean deposit and withdrawal through the M trading application. And if you make any deposits, gets 200% on your deposits, and you can deposit as low as even $10 and just start trading with it, right? So they take as low as $10. You can just click the link and you can just register to the broker, right? We can just call this a date, and next week we're going to meet with a new topic that's really going to be helpful in your trades too. So thanks for joining everyone, and please remember to stay safe and abide to the COVID-19 protocols, and we shall meet again next week. Thanks for joining.